The Guardian Fairy. In a small village called Samur, there lived a poor farmer named John, along with his beloved wife Emily. John would go to the fields every day to tend to the crops, while Emily would call the creditors to buy supplies. One day, Emily gave birth to a daughter. Both John and Emily were overjoyed, and their home was filled with laughter and happiness. However, tragedy struck when John fell ill and became bedridden. Slowly, he started losing his appetite and strength, relying on Emily to go to the fields and manage the household expenses with whatever money she could earn. One day, when Emily returned from the fields after harvesting, she found John had passed away. Seeing her husband's lifeless body, Emily burst into tears and said, "What should I do now?" Time passed, and Emily's daughter, now named Mary, grew up. She would stay at home while Emily went to the market, but the money Emily earned was not enough to sustain their household. Being poor, nobody wanted to associate with Mary, and they would make fun of her. Mary would come home crying and say, "Mom, why are we so poor? Why do people make fun of me while everyone else goes to school?" My dear, those who make fun of you, let them. You just focus on being good. Your father may not be here, but he's the father of those who fulfill their every wish. I may not earn much, but I'll try to fulfill your every wish. Just ignore what others say. Then Mary would become sad and go outside, sit by the fence, and start crying. "Mom, why are we so poor? Why does everyone make fun of me?" A fairy passing by overhears Mary's cry. "What happened, child?" Mary gets scared and asks, "Who's there? Who's there?" The fairy descends from above and says, "I am a fairy from the sky. I am here to help the people of the earth." Mary hesitantly tells the fairy everything. The fairy listens intently and offers her help. "If you ever need anything, just call for me, and I will come to fulfill your wish." Mary, now relieved, wipes her tears and smiles. "Thank you, fairy." The fairy smiles back and disappears into the air. Mary goes back inside, feeling a bit lighter. As days passed, Mary faced more challenges. The villagers continued to mock her. "She's poor, poor girl." And Emily struggled to make ends meet. One day, as Mary sat by the fence again, feeling hopeless, she called out to the fairy, "Fairy, please help me." The fairy appeared before Mary, ready to grant her wish. "What do you need, Mary?" "I wish for my family to be happy, and for us to have enough money to live comfortably." The fairy nods and grants her wish. "Your wish is granted, but remember, true happiness comes from within." Mary thanks the fairy and rushes home to find her mother. Emily is surprised to see Mary's excitement. "What happened, Mary?" "Mom, everything will be okay. The fairy has granted our wish." Emily is taken aback, but smiles at her daughter's enthusiasm. "That's wonderful, Mary. But remember, we must Always be grateful for what we have." Mary nods, understanding her mother's wisdom. From that day on, with the fairies' help, Mary and Emily's lives improve. They become more prosperous, and the villagers start to respect them. Mary continues to remember the fairies' words about true happiness, finding joy in her family and the love they share. And so, they lived happily ever after.